Yo, what's happening? Patrick here, and welcome to my hometown Essen in Germany. In today's video, we're going to talk about something more serious. We're going to break with a taboo. We're going to go deep down the rabbit hole of the topic of our biggest fears in life, which is mortality. The fact that at one point we all going to die. But without further ado, let's crack right into this video. One day you will be buried 6 feet underground in a casket, surrounded by your loved ones. And the only thing that is left of you is a tombstone with the engraving of your name, your date of birth, your date of death, and in between, simple hyphen. This little symbol, this hyphen, represents and captures all of the trials and tribulations, all of your successes and your failures. It reduces you to this little symbol. All of the experience you had, all of the memories you had, the laughs and all of the tears you have shed, all of them just reduced to this hyphen. For your family and for your loved ones, this symbol will mean something. All of it is captured in there. But once they're all gone, it has no meaning anymore. No one will remember you. Just like a wave in the ocean, gone. This very thought of our inevitable mortality is so depressing and so anxiety-inducing that most of us rarely confront ourselves with it. In Western society, it is even considered a taboo topic. Now, different cultures deal with this phenomenon in different ways, just as any individual does. Now, in this video, I want to tackle this phenomenon, and I want to show you how you can liberate yourself from the shackles of self-imposed boundaries and ultimately how certain death can give you life. For that purpose, I want to first of all dissect this phenomenon and give you an explanation for it. And in the second step, I want to give you number one advice, how you can reframe mortality from something depressing and anxiety-inducing to something positive. Personally, I'm oddly aware of the fact that I'm mortal, that one day I will die. And this is something that haunts me almost daily or every single night. And the initial response of it is just a response of panic. Now, I think you all experienced something like that, that you just couldn't fall asleep, that you were laying awake and you were just thinking about the fact that you are going to die at one point. The key to this phenomenon is a theory that we call the terror management theory. In the terror management theory, we propose that the very reason we try to ignore our mortality is that we want to protect our self-esteem. We try to bolster ourselves against mortality, against this thought and against this anxiety by either engaging into religious practices or honing into cultural values. We try to find meaning in life at different points. And like I said before, different cultures go about it in different ways, just as any individual does. Some people turn to religion and say their daily Ave Marias to give themselves a purpose in life. Others put all of the eggs in one basket and go all out in their career and try to make this world a better place, and thereby protecting the self-esteem and trying to manage this fear or this anxiety of certain mortality. The very notion of nothing really matters, that you don't really matter, that your life doesn't really matter, is a notion or a thought that induces anxiety in a lot of people, and some people even fall into existential depression. Mostly people that lack self-esteem or are highly self-conscious suffer from the effects of that. What I want to encourage you in this video is to turn this thing around. Just simply assume a different frame to this whole situation. Like I said before, assuming that nothing really matters and so that you don't matter is really anxiety-inducing and it's depressing. But on the other hand, if you think about it, it's a quite liberating fact. Think about it. If all of your successes, if all of the things you've done well don't matter, also everything that you failed at, every time you ridiculed yourself, it doesn't matter either. At one point you're going to be wiped from this earth and no one else will remember you. And for that very fact, you should just embrace this and reframe it in that way in order to liberate yourself and ultimately let certain death give you life. Now that we are free from pressure, now that we are free from this burden, we are liberated to do about anything. We don't put so much pressure onto ourselves because we put everything into perspective. At one point it doesn't really matter. At one point we're going to be gone. So by simply applying this new frame, you all of a sudden allow yourself to live a more fulfilled life. Additionally, it will make you more grateful. Gratitude is a practice that is extremely important. Most people don't value what they have right now because they're looking for other people, what they have, and they compare themselves. If you think about it, that at one point you don't take any of these things with you, you're going to realize that you have to be really grateful for this gift of life. And you start embracing it more. You start seeing more opportunities. You're starting to become more happy about your life in general. And you will start attacking things from a different perspective. You will start trying new things. You will try to figure things out along the way and don't care about ridiculing yourself in front of others or failing. This is one thing that I applied myself throughout the years. Like I said before, this is something that kept me awake. This is something that really messed with my head at one point. But it was really something that when I turned it around, helped me to liberate myself, embrace life even more. So this advice sounds rather obvious and pretty simple. And you ask yourself, how am I going to apply that in my everyday life? What I want you to do is, I want you to make it part of your daily practice. Just daily remind yourself that at one point you're going to be dead, and try to reframe it in a way that it liberates yourself, that it doesn't take away from your life, but that it encourages you to go for bigger and better things. As you make this a daily practice, it will help you day by day to navigate yourself through life and ultimately how to liberate yourself and live a more free life. Ultimately, what I want to say is, I know this is such a taboo topic, but I was thinking to myself, I want to break with taboo topics. It is something that is out there, that is risky, that is difficult and dangerous, but at the same time, I don't want to not confront it, because that's the natural tendency that we have as human beings. It has a defense mechanism, but at the same time, it keeps taken away from us. I hope this video was helpful for you to adapt a new perspective on life and ultimately liberate yourself from the shackles of self-imposed boundaries, and that you learn how to appreciate your life a little bit more, to show gratitude and ultimately gain life out of certain death. But I see you next time. Peace.